January 2024 with 23, dropping from 163.8 million to 161.9 million. Nonetheless, Internet's penetration remained robust at 42.53%, with broadband subscriptions totaling 92,195,973. Now, on Thursday, President Bola Tinubu established a 31-man Presidential Economic Coordination Council comprising himself, the Vice President, Senate President, and the Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, among others. Tinubu also established a 19-member Economic Management Team Emergency Task Force, which he mandated to meet twice weekly and submit a 6-month comprehensive plan of economic interventions for 2024. The Economic Management Team Emergency Task Force was approved by the Federal Executive Council. The plan, covering the next 6 months, would be due for immediate implementation within 2 weeks of the team's inauguration, the President directed. The move is in furtherance of his administration's efforts at re-engineering the nation's economic governance framework, the Presidency said in a statement signed by Tinubu's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale. You're still watching Biscon Television News Roundup. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Biscon Television News Roundup. Now to foreign news. We told you on Monday that Donald Trump won a bid to pause his $454 million civil fraud judgment if he posts a smaller $175 million bond within 10 days, in a victory for the former U.S. president that blocks New York State authorities from taking steps to seize his assets. The decision by a mid-level state appeals court is an acute cash crunch for Trump, who has said he will be forced to sell assets at fire sale prices to post bond in the case. The ruling delays enforcement of a judgment in the case that found he overstated his wealth to dupe investors and lenders, though it did not indicate how the appeals court might ultimately rule or address the merits of the case. It could take judges up to a year or longer to reach a decision on that. New York Attorney General Letitia James' office, which is handling the civil case, said Trump is still facing accountability for his staggering fraud. Now, the UN Security Council on Monday passed a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. In a change in position, the US refrained from vetoing the measure, which also called for the release of hostages. The U.S. move signaled divergence with Israel, although the White House insists it's not a policy shift. In response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called it a clear retreat from the previous U.S. position and therefore cancelled its delegation's planned visit to the White House. The U.S. said it was very disappointed by the cancelled visit. However, a separate visit by Israel's defense minister went ahead with his U.S. counterpart. In a turn of events, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office later agreed to reschedule the planned meeting with U.S. and Israeli officials to discuss a possible operation in Rafah, the White House confirmed on Wednesday. Newsmen reported earlier on Wednesday that Netanyahu's office had agreed to reschedule the meeting, which an official said could occur as early as next week, though no date has been finalized. Now, on Thursday, judges at the International Court of Justice unanimously ordered Israel to take all the necessary and effective action to ensure basic food supplies arrive without delay to the Palestinian population in Gaza. The ICJ said the Palestinians in Gaza face worsening conditions of life, and famine and starvation are spreading. The new measures were requested by South Africa as part of its ongoing case that accuses Israel of state-led genocide in Gaza. In January, the ICJ, also known as the World Court, ordered Israel to refrain from any acts that could fall under the Genocide Convention and to ensure its troops commit no genocidal acts against Palestinians in Gaza. In the order, the court reaffirmed the January measures, but added that Israel must take action to ensure unhindered provision of basic services and humanitarian assistance, including food, water, and electricity, as well as medical supplies and medical care to Palestinians throughout Gaza. It was in the news on Friday that President Joe Biden and his Democratic predecessor, Barack Obama, headlined a star-studded fundraiser with former President Bill Clinton on Thursday, offering a robust defense of the White House handling of the Gaza crisis as protesters interrupted the event. Biden, who traveled with Obama on Air Force One to New York, took part in a discussion with Clinton, moderated by the Late Show host Stephen Colbert at the iconic Radio City Music Hall in front of thousands of guests. Organizers said the event raised more than $25 million for Biden's U.S. re-election campaign. But the fundraiser was punctuated by several protests inside the massive auditorium, with attendees rising at several different moments to shout over the discussion, referencing Biden's backing of Israel in the Hamas war that has killed more than 30,000 people in Gaza. Obama and Clinton offered a presidential perspective of the Gaza crisis that stressed the political realities of being in the White House. A president needs to be able to support Israel at the same time as fighting for Palestinians to have more access to food, medical supplies, and a future state, they said. The pair of former presidents also defended Biden's handling of the economy, which gets low ratings in national polls. You're watching Biscon Television News Roundup. We take another break now to bring you sports news. Join us again.
Hello, welcome to Biscon TV Sport News Roundup. The Nigeria Olympic Committee (NOC) on Monday commended Team Nigeria's outstanding performance at the just concluded 13th African Games in Ghana. The Public Relations Officer of NOC, Tony Nezaya, in a statement